mentioned an emergency fund, but you just kind of mentioned it. I mean, what's, you know, I know in the, Joel, in your thing here, it said something about, you know, 3 to 6 months, but how do you figure out that as opposed to putting money into your, you know, 401k or Roth or 529, or what do you do first? How do you do it all?
I mean, the rule of thumb, the reason to have an emergency rainy day fund is in today's economy, in case you get laid off, you have your rent continues, you know, you have all your other expenses, you need to have something set aside. The rule of thumb is you want to have anywhere from 3 to 6 months of your fixed expenses, like your rent, your utility bills, and et cetera, and your variable expenses. So you kind of have to have an idea of what you spend. That's where budgeting comes into play. But you need, I would say that traditional rule of thumb should be a little longer, you know, with today's economy. But you know, if you're married and you have 2 income sources, or if you're lucky and you have you work but you also have you know, some you know, second job or trust fund or something like that, then you know, then maybe you need less of an emergency fund. You need more than that 3 months. But if it's all you, and or you have kids, you know, one person's working and you have kids, you want to have a bigger emergency fund. You have to balance. You need to save for retirement. You also need to put money away for the side, and that's where you have to control spending. It's so easy today. We're all young. Most of us, you know, are on the younger side. We like to go out. We like to have fun. You want to live for today, but at the same time, you know, you need to really evaluate. Do I need to?
Account for that when you get fired, you're gonna go drinking for a month.
You know, you got to budget that. But you know, we have to make those decisions, and that's kind of where being responsible and
what do you do with it? Because let's say that you're only making $4,000 a month. You need $12,000. Where do you park your $12,000?
I think, I mean, the way I do it personally is if it's in my bank account, like my checking account, I can spend it, right? But what I do is I do direct deposit into a separate savings account, and it says, I named it, you know, rainy day fund. And it just goes there. I have, you know, 10% of every paycheck goes into that fund, and you know, if I need it, it's there.
I think Marty's saying if you make 1% on it, you only make 1%.
I don't care what it is.
I guess the question, it should be liquid.
Oh, completely.
But do you do money market? Do you put it in CDs? Do you just stick it in?
Today it doesn't matter.
It doesn't mean it's all 0%
yeah.
anyway.
The most important thing in a rainy day fund is return of your principal, not return on your principal.
So in a pillowcase, it's just as good.
Well, you might lose it if you wash it.
The mattresses burn.
You know, at least you know that you can walk in any bank.
But your answer is a bank. I mean,
yeah.
Also, in some cases, you can look at a Roth IRA as a potential emergency savings account, because you can always pull out your principal of a Roth, because when it was an after-tax contribution. You just can't pull out or want to pull out your earnings.
That's where I was going.
Or your earnings. So you've got to make that, again, we talked about a balance. So that potentially could be an emergency fund as well.
You don't want to live your whole life so that for the age, you know, I was talking about a client today, and it's a good client, they have like a vacation home in Utah. And they were like, that's a condo, but it's kids, they're spending a lot of money, they're really worried about whether they can afford it. And they can, they really can. And I was like, you can't live your whole life so that, you know, they have to go skiing, so you're going to get rid of the place, so that when you're going to have a lot of money, then when you're 65, 70 years old, you can retire, but then you won't want to go skiing. You won't be able to. So it's a balance. It really is. And no one's saying don't go on vacation, don't do anything. It's just prioritizing and balancing. I mean, you know, in our vacation fund, it's literally like $200 a month or whatever. It goes into that vacation fund, one line, Bank of America, different accounts labeled. Vacation funds, school and camp, different, you know, these different accounts you set aside, and it's there. It's just budgeting, it's prioritizing. It's kind of nickel and dime stuff in a way.
That's that hard one. That's school and camp.
Whatever. Well, you know, but you know, and the money, 529, money goes out once a month, automatically. It's gone. All those kinds of gimmicks can be pretty powerful. They're tools and instruments just to impose discipline upon yourself. Just half the battle.